People call Huaqiangbei the biggest electronics market in the world. It's true, but also incomplete. Huaqiangbei isn't just a mall. It's a physical interface to the global electronics supply chain. Huaqiangbei is the beating heart of Shenzhen. Entrepreneurs come here to see what's possible this week, not next year. I'm Becky Stern, and this is Made in Shenzhen. My friend, travel companion, and Shenzhen expert David Cranor and I flew to Hong Kong and arrived to Shenzhen via the land border in a taxi with both license plates. Once settled in our Shenzhen hotel, we met up with our fixer.
It's like the most famous of all of the markets. SEG stands for Shenzhen Electronics Group. You can see it's in the logo. This is kind of the place that started it all. We're gonna go find Aqua on the third floor, booth number 3C48. Is this us?
Yeah. There she is.
How's it going? I'd like to buy some electronic products, please.
This is Aqua.
My work has been always like sourcing and manufacturing for different clients.
She grew up in Jiangsu province, studied engineering in school, and has lived and worked in Shenzhen for over a decade. She didn't plan this career.
Because I started working in a electronics factory, and my first customer, Benny, came here, and he wanted a translator help, and so I asked of 2 weeks. Then the factory fired me. So I think since then I started this road.
Now she helps people navigate Shenzhen, not just the language, but expectations.
Every customer comes to me with different tasks. Yeah, that's the point. I like it.
Right, and you're problem solving for all of them.
Not all.
So you're trying. Attempting to problem solve.
Yeah, I'm trying. The most difficult and the beauty is the how you handle the relationship with people. Yes. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of foreigners are very good at bargaining. They thought when you buy stuff, they can ask for half price. I think that's a misconception. You can bargain a little bit, but they don't not
as much as you think.
Yes.
If Shenzhen feels different from other Chinese cities, that's because it's extremely new. It hasn't been around long enough for most people to be born and raised here. But that will soon change too. The markets are a family affair, where kids will watch the store while the grown-ups run the errands. Aqua puts it simply.
We welcome all kinds of people, I think.
Yeah, it's a city of immigrants, right?
Yeah, just be yourself. Yes, mm-hmm. Yes. Mm. I think we have the slogan, right? That was, if you are here, you are Shenzhen person.
Yeah, there's a slogan in Shenzhen. If you come to Shenzhen, then you belong to Shenzhen.
This is Elaine.
I am the overseas marketing manager of PCBWay.
In a future episode, she'll give us a tour inside their factory making printed circuit boards.
I will say it's like it has its magic of complete ecosystem that it builds things fast from idea to a complete one, maybe just overnight. So I think that's the reason why most of the creators like you, they like Shenzhen very much, right?
I was part of a group of content creators invited to attend Maker Faire Shenzhen. My friend Ruth from the Kids Invent Stuff channel was there for the same reason.
Ruth, we found where we belong. It is the internet celebrity recommended area. I can't take it seriously.
One of the first things we did when we got to Shenzhen was visit Nancy the tailor at her shop in the Lohu neighborhood, in a mall called Lohu Commercial City. Everything is a mall here. And inside this mall is Nancy's tailor shop. We picked out fabric from a nearby vendor.
Susie, I like this one very much.
All right then, for jacket.
For jacket.
Took measurements, discussed style elements, then paid upfront and set a date to come pick up the finished suit jacket. In 1980, not long before I was born, Shenzhen was farmland and a fishing village with a population under 100,000 people. That year, China designated Shenzhen as a special economic zone, a place to experiment with free market capitalism strategically located right next to Hong Kong, a major financial hub. The result is a city built ambitiously fast, now exceeding 17 million residents. You can feel that ambition walking these streets. These extremely clean, constantly being pressure washed streets. Huaqiangbei has a distinct rhythm, quiet in the morning, bustling and filled with e-bikes by midday, and sounds of packing tape growing through the afternoon. Handcarts full of packages getting loaded into vans in the evening, then everyone goes home and it starts all over again the next morning. This place is about density. Multi-story buildings divided up into small stores and stalls, each competing for your attention. It's an absolute maze.
I need a few coaxial connectors.
Okay, let's actually go this way.
If you find something you like, make sure you take a note of the booth number and get their contact info so you can find them later. You can physically see the trends by noticing which items repeat the most. Imitation Dyson hair dryers and thermal printer cameras were the hot ticket items during this visit.
The year that fidget spinners came out, this is all fidget spinners.
Aqua says this wasn't always the case.
For electronics, it's I think the biggest change from my side is used like in the Huaqiang market, it is for like makers, like engineers mostly, and some like factory company for electronics only. But now it is like more like open to all kinds of people, like consumer
finished products.
Finished products.
Hello. We're
we
here.
going now?
Now we're going to the LED market.
Oh, great. My favorite.
This is where they have LEDs. As with everything else in this neighborhood, it used to be all floors of LEDs, but the LEDs have been crammed into a smaller and smaller part of the upper floors. But thankfully, we know how to find them. Let's go find them.
I was a kid in a candy store.
This display is showing how they can make party corners, which is very hard to do.
Squares.
Well, they're different segments, right? Oh, no.
Well, I think it's because the actual LEDs inside are small, so you can cut it smaller, so you can make a squarey square out of it.
That's pretty cool.
That's very square.
Yeah, that's very cool.
So square.
Things got a little more foreign to me when we visited the markets selling phone parts and repair tools. The tacit knowledge here hangs thick in the air, just like the humidity. One thing Huaqiangbei makes very clear: repair and reuse are critical parts of the electronic supply chain.
Because most people in the world cannot afford
A new phone.
a brand new $2,000 iPhone, right? So there's this whole secondary market, yeah. And so also in Shenzhen, there's mobile phone repair schools where you can come, and if you want to learn how to do all this, they'll train you up. Or if you want to get a job working at the iPhone factory or something, you can get the certifications.
Motorcycles aren't allowed in most major Chinese cities, and Shenzhen is no exception. E-bikes are the preferred mode of transportation, and they share sidewalks with pedestrians. So you have to watch where you're going, but also assert yourself. So it's not dissimilar to what I'm used to in New York City. This is especially true because e-bikes are both fast and quiet. What they do have are these quick freight shipping vans, like Uber for stuff. They're absolutely everywhere. If you've been following my teardown antics with David, you might remember this little screen from the Shark red light therapy mask that I broke when taking it apart. I brought it with me to see if Aqua could help us find a replacement. Within 24 hours, after talking to a few of her contacts, she found the supplier. But it doesn't come with that flat flex connector, so I'd have to recreate that part on my own. Aqua knows a thing or two about forging your own path.
Follow your heart, I think. That's the spirit. Because that's the way you will stick to all the time and never give up, no matter what. Yes.
In my own way, I can relate. I live in a big city too. I work for myself. I make things that didn't exist before, and then help other people learn how to make them too. Like Aqua, I didn't plan this career. I followed the problems that interested me. Shenzhen rewards that instinct.
I can see, I don't like to travel like in the space, but people are traveling to me. So I like to meet different people, and they bring the different task. I think that's the motivation.
This place has a trusting community vibe, I think partially because it's so safe. Mass surveillance has certain advantages, and one notable result is that petty theft is nearly non-existent. Many businesses close up shop with a simple curtain.
You got a locked cabinet.
Yes, because it's open. Or even when I leave, I don't cover like a sheet.
After a long 2 days of shopping, we had worked up an appetite, so what better way to reward ourselves than to indulge in hot pot at the world-famous Haidi Lao, noodle dance and everything.
Yes.
Do the noodle dance. Do the noodle dance. Do the noodle dance. Do the noodle dance. This is artistic. You gotta keep it from touching the floor too.
Amazing. Hey, cut half.
See you later. Nice to meet you.
For the rest of the trip, we relocated closer to the event I came to China for in the first place, Maker Faire Shenzhen. Smokey picked up his suit jacket from Nancy just in time to DJ the party. This really is the fastest city on Earth. This is just a taste of my experience in Shenzhen. I've been shooting way more than can fit into the YouTube cuts. So if you want the extended version of the series with bonus scenes, I'm releasing them as Nebula Plus episodes. This is the first of 3 Made in Shenzhen videos where, in addition to the markets, I'll bring you inside factories that make LEDs, do PCB manufacturing, and assemble finished electronics products in and around Shenzhen, China. You'll be fascinated by the sophisticated processes that bring modern electronics products to life, and hopefully take away a more complete picture of the complexities humanity faces as we continue to develop more and more advanced technology. And maybe you'll even find a deeper appreciation for the devices you use every day. In this series' extended cuts, you could look forward to unabridged scenes inside the Shenzhen markets and factories, full interviews with experts, and even watch my karaoke performance. Nebula is a streaming service built by creators with originals and exclusives you can't get anywhere else. Plus, it's ad-free, and joining Nebula is a really great way to support the work that goes into a series like this. I loved getting to follow the supply chain, understanding where and how humans interact with the process, and how those roles are changing over time. And this series gives me the opportunity to share all of that with you. Nebula is a great platform for work that benefits from slowing down and looking closely. It gives creators the room to take risks. Y'all know I'll never put my open source project tutorials behind a paywall, but this more editorial series is giving me an opportunity to create extended cuts that add value without compromising my intellectual property values. And right now is a really great time to sign up. During January, Nebula is 50% off the annual plan. That's $30 for the year, which is basically $250 a month. If you want to watch my Nebula Plus cuts of Made in Shenzhen and a whole library of other great Nebula exclusives, scan the QR code on the screen or go to the URL in my description. And I'll put a direct link to the first episode in the description too, so you can jump right into the extended cut. Next time, we'll leave the markets and go inside the factories. For now, I'll leave you riding the escalator. Thanks for watching.